Hi, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Monroe, Washington.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey guys, we've loved answering all of your questions so far. If you'd like to hear your question on the podcast, please send them to us on Instagram at wheeltalkpodcast or by email to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks. Started. Hello, Becca.
Started! Hi.
We're live. What are you drinking there? Or eating? I don't even... I don't know. Is that a liquid or is that a solid? What is that?
I'm slurping. This is from Costco, and it's a ready-to-freeze lime drop. The product contains alcohol.
What is a lime drop? Is that just like lemon-flavored liqueur with vodka or something?
It tastes like a margarita.
Okay.
It's pretty good. There's also watermelon ones and strawberry ones. Me and Val bought a bunch and took them to the lake.
Okay. I thought it was a popsicle at first, and I was like...
Yeah, it's like an Otter Pop, but it has alcohol in it.
Okay.
It's fantastic. I've had 3 already in the past. It's got 8% alcohol, and I've had 3.
Dang.
In the past...
24%. Nice.
Half hour?
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works. I think my body mass can handle 3 8% wine pops. Just a guess.
Yeah. All right, so how was your day? Ooh,
It was
gotcha.
okay.
I got you first. It's okay. What'd you do today?
Let's see. I decided to make some bells last night, like ceramic bells, because whenever I go to Val's house, she has these bells hanging from a tree. And
Are they like tiered bells? So there's like 2 or 3 of them in a series, and they kind of like a wind chime or something?
no, I mean they're singular bells, and they just hang from her tree.
Okay.
And then they have a little tiny heart that comes out, and that's the dinger. And I was like, I want to make those. Even though they don't match, like, my aesthetic, I still want to make them. So I made, like, you know when you, like, you decide that you want to test something out, and you're like, oh, yeah, this product should sell, but you don't really know. And then you make 60 of them? That's
60?
what happened.
Well, when I first saw you
so
making
small.
them, they look basically like your tumblers, kind of. But maybe a little more spiral.
They're just
and
planters.
No thumb part. Yeah.
They're upside down planters, and so
Could they sell as planters if the bells don't work out?
Exactly. I'll just turn them upside down and sell them as planters. Who cares?
There you go.
So I made those, and I made a bunch of beads this morning for them to hang.
Okay.
And then I glazed, and I load a kiln? I loaded a kiln, and my postman almost lit our building on fire on accident because we have this thing where he comes in the back door at the shop. He has a code and everything, and then he puts the packages down, but usually the big kiln isn't on.
Oh, gosh.
Today the big kiln is on, and he put the box on the big kiln, and there's a little tiny air hole, and he put it right next to it. And
where the flame could come out, and yeah.
And I saw him driving by, and I like waved him down, and he's like, oh, I just put a box in the back. And I was like, did you put it on the kiln? He's like, yeah. And I was like, ah!
Oh, no.
So I ran back there, and it was hot. It was hot. If I'd gotten
Was
there
it
an hour
on
later-
fire?
No, but if I'd gotten there an hour later, it would have been. And so I texted him, and I was like, just so you know,
put it on the
don't
floor.
push it on the kiln.
Put it on the floor.
Yeah, and so I need to make a little sign that says the kiln is hot. Hot, 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 hot. Hot, 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 hot. But yeah, I had a wholesaler not show up. She's supposed to come by and pick up some stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of worried, actually. I don't know where she is. She hasn't responded to me, so hopefully she's okay. And yeah, how was your day?
Let's see. It was amazing weather today, so I worked outside almost most of the day, like on the porch. It was
Nice.
low 70s. It was perfect.
Hell yeah.
It's like the fall just hit all of a sudden. So that was nice. I didn't even
sad.
work at my desk in the office, which is where I'm at right now, all day. So that was pretty nice. It's kind of nice to not have like 2 monitors and so much going on in your head, and like it's hard to balance it all.
Yeah.
It's too much. So it's kind of nice to just sit on the porch and work. And
Yeah. Did you had some sort of a video blow the crap up?
Did it?
Last week?
Oh, last week?
Wasn't there? Yeah, what was that video that those people did for you?
Yeah, so there was I guess it's just like a Facebook and Instagram account called Power of Positivity.
Oh, cool.
On Instagram, they have 5.6 million followers, and I don't know about Facebook.
That's
they
crazy.
have like 3 million on Facebook or something. And
Did they talk to you?
They reached out to me through email about a month ago, maybe. And then I kept...
Why did I not hear about this? I'm offended. No, I'm kidding. I'm
not. And then I kept putting off making the video. So they basically reached out and was like, hey, we're really interested in your stuff. I looked at some of the other stuff they posted. They don't post a ton of other art things, but they did have a couple recently. And I was like, oh, shit, like they have a lot of followers. And it wasn't like a weird account. So I'm like, okay, like what's the worst that can happen? So They gave me like a bunch of questions, and we're just saying like, hey, could you answer a handful of these questions that talk about yourself, your work, and your motivations or whatever. And I sent it to them, which was probably a total of like 5 minutes of video or 7 minutes or something like that. And then they spliced it together with other videos and clips from my Instagram or my Facebook or wherever, and put it together into I don't know, 5-minute video or 4-minute video or something, and then shared it on their Facebook probably 3 weeks ago. And I got some good response there, but the most response came from Instagram when they posted on their Instagram last week. 5 million people that follow them. I got 2,000 followers in
oh shit
2 days. And it was nuts.
I'm now in a competition with you, even though they're not really on the same level. But I have 15.6 thousand followers on TikTok.
Nice. You post on TikTok a lot. Do you post every day on there, or twice a day or something?
Yeah, because it's like stupid videos, and I don't care about them.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. I don't care. Like, it's fun to see how many followers they have, but like, I'm still gonna put out really shitty information. Like,
but there's not a lot of clay content on there, right?
No. And it's still gonna be like really, I'm gonna.
Are you getting people coming to your Instagram from there? Because I know they got the Instagram.
Like 200 followers on Instagram because of TikTok. 200, 300 followers.
Nice.
Because of TikTok. But no, it's fun. I mean, like, I just had one video that went kind of like viral, but ironically saying that I didn't want to be famous.
Yeah.
And and so now I have all these people following me that keep asking me all these questions.
Yeah.
But now my whole goal is just to surpass you.
Surpass me on TikTok based on Instagram numbers? Not because I
actually want that many followers. I don't. I just want to say that I passed them.
Okay. Pass me.
But then I'll just have them all go away. Then I'll delete my TikTok.
You're like, I can't handle all these people.
Yeah.
So that was.
I don't know how you or anybody that has over 20,000 people following them communicates with people on a daily basis without shooting yourself.
The thing is, it's not the same level of commitment and discussion when the numbers are that large. You're not having in-depth answers to people. Yeah. Like, it's usually like, I love your work, or it's, hearting your story or something like that. Like, I got a bunch of those when I was posting for my carving yesterday. It was like people hand clapping, or people
hand clap,
putting their like the cheers, the little like celebration thing, or the hearts or whatever. So it's little bitty engagement there, and it's I'll heart their thing and I'll say thank you, and that's like the end of it, and that's it. Yeah. So that's like a 10-second engagement. It's not ongoing, and it's not answering questions over and over and over and over. But
I struggle with 9 messages in the morning. Sometimes I don't even double tap it to heart it. I just kind of move past. Especially if it's somebody that does the little hand clap thing through it
where they do like they just tap the reply and then they just hit a button. You're like, I'm not gonna reply to them because they barely put any effort into this.
I'm like, I'm just gonna move past that.
Yeah. Mark it as read and move on.
I feel like in a small scale I'm a nice person, but in a large scale I turn into like this person that's like totally removed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm trying not to be.
I mean, I was looking at some of your TikTok replies and there are some questions in there. I don't know if you're answering all of them, but it seems like you're getting more contextual like questions because maybe there's not as much clay people on there, so you're getting more like kind of basic questions or whatnot that you actually need a response. It's not just like praising your stuff.
Right. I know. And then like I don't want to answer the questions. I mean, it's
work, right? I mean, you got to do that.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, yeah. So, yeah, it's so strange. I was thinking about how the difference is between like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. TikTok is videos that always scroll through your feed and they can go through your feed all the time. Instagram is a curated feed, so you choose what comes onto your feed. You know, if you never look outside, you don't necessarily...
Well, TikTok has two feeds, right? You can look at feeds of just the people you follow, and then there's like a feed of what TikTok curates that they think you're going to like.
Yeah, and I would say the majority of the people do the one that TikTok curates to you. Right. Not just the people you follow, just because you can find new people and funny things. And then there's Facebook, and that is kind of a mix between the two. You know, you find some things that are from different people because people are sharing. There's a lot of, like, sharing involved. So it's very interesting, the three different things. Also, I found out that... this was a new thing to find out. You can actually, because you can go on live on TikTok, and which I do because it keeps me accountable to actually get stuff done. And they can tip you.
Tip you? They can give you money?
Yeah.
Did people give you money?
Yeah. I didn't realize this was like a total thing. And then like I was showing Andrew something.
I need to start doing this.
And he goes, aren't the diamonds money? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? And I like went into it and it's like balance. And I'm like, what? So I go to the balance and then it goes, oh, gifts received. And I look and I made a total of 50 cents. 50 big smackaroonies. 50 cents.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like $6 or $8 or something from doing a live.
No.
Okay.
Let's see what I got now. Over time.
So do you have a PayPal account associated with it, or? So
here's the thing. Okay, this is something that I had to like find it on YouTube. Okay, I have $7.17 that I have been gifted, and that is a total of 1,434 diamonds.
Wow, that's worse than like Delta points.
It is worse than Delta points. So $7.17. You can only withdraw money once it's $100.
Okay, so they kind of encourage you to just give it to other people, basically.
I don't even know if you can give it to other people.
I mean, they're giving you money, so...
They take 50%, so it's basically the worst wholesaler in the world. They take 50%, and then you can't withdraw it from... unless it reaches $100. But and they have like different levels of like gifts that they can give you. And I was,
oh my gosh.
So, like, I was watching a live last night because some guy hit like 5 million followers, which is also in its own way absolutely ridiculous. Like, do you know how much 5 million people is? That's so many people.
Yeah. Like, and what's their content that they produce? What do they do?
5 million is 50 10,000s. Is that right?
I don't know. Sure.
It might be 510. It's 510,000.
It's a lot of people.
Like, that's so many people. No, it's 50 10,000. That's so many people. And like, it's mind boggling. And then I was on their live. Now that I know this information, I'm watching these people give these guys like 70
Diamonds.
times 25 diamonds, you know? I'm like, these people are just throwing money at these other people, which is crazy to me. And I just, wow. And I'm like, don't give me any money on a live. I'm literally just doing my job. Like, I'm not even answering your questions because it was a dumb question. Like,
oh my gosh. So how did the live? This is not what we're talking about today, by the way, folks. How did
no, but we might as well.
How did the lives compare between Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok?
Okay, here's the cool thing about the TikTok lives is that if you're looking for followers, TikTok lives are the way to go because
are not many people doing them?
Not a ton of people do them. You have to have 1,000 followers to do a live. Okay, that's first. Second, the longer you do it, it scrolls through your For You page, which is the page that is the curated page by TikTok. So it's not necessarily who you are following. So I'm scrolling, like if I'm doing a live for an hour and a half, I'm scrolling through people's For You pages and they can follow me. So like I did a live session couple nights ago and I was just doing what I was gonna do. I was throwing cups, and that's why I do these lives. And I don't even talk also on the TikTok lives, which is phenomenal. I like barely talk and I just play my music, and it is like a playlist of music, and we just listen and we watch throwing. Like that's it, right? And I gained 850 followers in 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Just from one live. So that's the benefit of a TikTok live, right? You can gain followers. Like I said, my whole goal in life is not really necessarily to gain followers, but it does motivate me to get my shit done. You know, like I have all these people watching me. I might as well like do things.
Right.
Like, you know,
you have something that people are willing to watch. Nobody's going to watch you just sitting on the couch because that's what they're doing.
And then you could do lives like I did a live today and there was like 4 people watching. It doesn't matter to me whether there's 4 people or 100 people. I'm going to do it regardless. And then an Instagram live, what's cool about an Instagram live is that you could join me on that. Like you can't do that on a TikTok live. Right?
Okay.
So we could dual it. And then we bring in both, but the difference is that we're not necessarily bringing anybody from the outside. You know,
yeah,
we're bringing in all our followers. But what is nice about that is that people aren't asking the questions that are so repetitive. You know, like how long have you been doing this? You know, the stuff that they already know, so you can have more of a genuine like conversation.
And it's a little deeper.
So that's nice. Yeah, it's a little deeper, a little bit more intimate. And then and then also TikTok lives go away immediately. Instagram lives you can save into the IG movie now, right?
IGTV, yep.
IGTV, which you couldn't before. It would just save for a day, which was nice anyway. And then Facebook lives are different. Again, you can share Facebook's lives. Like you can literally share the entire live to a page or whatever. And so you could get a bunch of people, and you can do it in a group, which is nice for Facebook. And Facebook Lives stay forever if you choose to save it. So that's
what's the engagement like on Facebook compared to the others?
Comments like?
Yeah.
I've only done Facebook Lives in Clay Buddies. I haven't ever actually done one just
on your Five Lines Pottery where people that actually follow you would see it.
Right. I suppose you could do it on your Five Lines Pottery page and then share it to Clay Buddies. If you're doing it, like, that's very specific to time, you know? If you're doing it at the right time. I've had, like, 150 people on a Facebook Live.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But they were all Clay people, so they kind of know what's going on. And so...
But that's still crazy that you have that many people willing to watch you, even in that small of a niche... that you're willing, right. That you're able to have 150 of those specific people.
Yeah, and then in TikTok lives, I think the tops I've had is like maybe 100 and 150 in a TikTok live.
Still a
I
lot.
average, if I'm throwing, I average about 75 to 100.
See, that's going to generate comments. In those numbers, you're going to get comments.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and like, so what I do is I put a little card at the bottom of the screen that says, it literally says answers, and then 11 years, I'm making a cup. This is my website. No, there's nothing on my website. This is my Instagram. Follow me if you want to know how to buy stuff. Like, it has all, and then this is the Spotify playlist I made that has all the music. Like, it has all that information so that I don't have to say that stuff over and over again.
That's funny.
But I also think that there should be a mandatory drinking game for lives. Every time somebody asks, what are you making? How long have you been doing this? And somebody says, I want to get into pottery.
I've always wanted
to
do
be a
this.
mandatory drinking game. Yeah, for sure. But I, for all the people that are like, why are you doing this? Lives have literally gotten me out of depression modes. In the winter, they've like kept me going. Like, lives are my main source of motivation. I don't know why. Maybe it's like some weird egotistical thing that I have inside of me. But it just
that
like,
you need somebody watching you so that it keeps you busy.
Yeah,
it keeps you accountable.
Like, yeah, like I get on, and even if it's like 3 people watching, I'm like, okay, these people are watching, so I can't stop. Like, I can't be like sidetracked or distracted. Like, I have to get this done. So
yeah, that's interesting. I feel like over time I have dwindled from doing lives and doing videos and stuff and snapshotting what I'm doing in the studio the last, I don't know, 6 months or 9 months or whatever, because I'm just like, okay, I've got stuff I want to do and I need to do, and figuring out how to like frame a shot, or like, oh, I need to capture that while I'm doing this thing, or
right.
I need to do an instructional video about how I'm throwing this thing or whatever.
Totally. Yeah, I don't make them very fancy. I just put the camera up, and then they're like, can you move it so we can see your hands? And I'm like, no. No. This is my life,
That's
not
great.
yours.
That's great.
Okay, we have a question. Sorry, that was a sidetrack, but I feel like that was
22-minute sidetrack, whatever.
It's fine.
Our days were good. We learned about TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the things,
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, it is it's like informational, I suppose.
Yeah.
What are we doing today, Ryan?
Should we do a listener question or skip it?
What? No, I want to do it because I don't know what it is.
All right.
I'm going to mute this.
This came from Perched Pottery.
Ooh, Perched Pottery. I know them.
Yeah. It says, branding and marketing. How important is it? And what do you, Becca and Ryan, have for business cards, art cards, packaging, etc. for in-person and online presence and sales? I knew you would love this one.
Oh, God.
All right, so should we go to what do you have for business cards, art cards, packaging for in-person and online sales? And then that will manifest itself into how we handle branding ourselves.
I think we can first say that branding is very important.
Yes. And by branding, we mean what? I'm saying like RD Ceramics is what I use, and like it's my name. People can recognize RD is Ryan Durbin. Right. I have the same
logo
name on my Instagram and my Facebook, and the logo is
a
recognizable.
Logo, a recognizable typeface, a hashtag. Anything that defines you is your branding, and like how people can recognize you and find you is your branding. So it is important. Like, you don't want to be just like, oh, that one pottery person. Branding's super important, and also something that should be thought about more, I feel, before they make it concrete.
Like, how did you pick? I think we've probably talked about this before, for sure. So people probably already know. How did you pick Five Lines Pottery?
Five Lines Pottery,
Instead of like Becca Otis Pottery or Becca Otis Ceramics or...
Right. I don't like... Well, I love my last name, but I knew that I didn't want it to be my name, Becca Otis Pottery. I don't know why, but I knew I didn't. And when I was in college and I was signing a piece, I really didn't like the signature of my name. And we always had to sign everything on the bottom. And so instead of signing it, I put 5 lines for BECCA. So BECCA, like a Roman numeral, but no cross. So it's just 5 lines sequentially. Is that right? Sequentially?
Mm-hmm.
And so that became a very easy way to sign the pieces of my pottery. And then from that, I got 5 Lines Pottery. And I was told often by my mentor, you should not have that name. It is suggestive, to say the least. He goes, people are going to think of 5 lines of Coke when...
I didn't think of that. I thought 5 Lines, isn't that like a church name or something?
No.
Maybe I'm thinking
I don't
Hills
think so.
or something. I don't know.
But, so I was told not to do that. And so instead of hiding behind the fact that my name might suggest drugs, I said, well, at least if they think I do drugs and they do drugs, they'll buy my pottery. So, I just make light of it. But how about you? How about RD Ceramics? Because RD Ceramics is not necessarily Ryan. I mean, it means Ryan Durbin Ceramics, but it's not. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah, it started from just how I signed my pieces. When I started
RD.
in high school, I signed them with a forward D, and then off that straight line of the D, I signed the R backwards.
Oh, yeah. Forward D, R back. Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, so that's
I
how
already know that.
That's
but
how
I've
I
never
always
done it
signed my
on a piece of
work
paper.
since high school, and I basically just adapted that and did RD Ceramics.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And I mean, look at that logo. The forward D and the backwards R is very... That's something you can make a logo out of. Not only that, but it can be black and white. So,
Right.
Something that they taught us in design school is that logo, anything branding, anything that you might put on a letterhead should always be able to be done in black and white. AT&T, FedEx, T-Mobile, Starbucks, anything like that, you can switch that to black and white and it's recognizable everywhere instead of doing like a bunch of different colors and stuff like that. So that's really important, especially because we do clay and you're inevitably going to turn your logo into your signature,
Right.
which will be on the bottom of your pot, which has to be in line format, so it has to be black and white. So keep that in mind when you're thinking of doing that. Simple is always best.
Yeah, I would say think of also, if it's a website, can they easily search that? Are they going to remember it? Are they going to mess up the spelling? If your last name is really hard, maybe shorten it or come up with something that's easier, or it's not even your last name.
Right.
That's easily recognizable.
Yeah, easily recognizable. And if it's not easily spelled, it should be something that sticks in your name. And the one that I remember is Rachel's from Hill Bippy Clay, because I remember for a long time it was hard for me to remember it was Hill Bippy, because I'd never really heard that term, Hill Bippy. But I knew that it was Hill, and I thought it was Billy at first, Hillbilly, but I remembered it. I was like, that's like something Hill something Clay. So at least it's stuck in my mind, like it stayed in the front of my brain instead of like just scooting right through the back. But yeah, like my website, I have to have the domain 5 Lines Pottery, FIVE, and the number 5 Lines Pottery. I always have to say, if I'm spelling out my email, I go, it's the number 5 Lines Pottery.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, mine, I always just say Ryan Durbin Ceramics at Gmail. Pretty easy. RyanDurbinCeramics.com. rdceramics.com was not available, so bummer. But
Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, branding is so important.
But I don't think I would make the choice to change my Instagram. Like, I'm not going to change my Instagram from RD Ceramics because I feel like I'm known enough for that I don't want to change it at this point. That if I change it to Ryan Durbin Ceramics, it would be like, it's not as easy to tag me or whatever.
And I think emails are something specific too. You know, it's like nobody really needs to know your email. Let's be real. Like the people that need to know your email, you're giving them your email.
Yeah. Or they could find it on your website or something, or they can find it if they want it.
Yeah. For sure. Short, simple, to the point, black and white. Okay, so we covered why icons and branding is specific and important. Now let's go to the business cards. What do you do for business cards? And
I'll start with the at show. So all of my bags, I use the craft bags with the handles, and I have a 4-inch by 4-inch stamp that is RD Ceramics that I stamp on all the bags so that it's branded. And when I hand it over to the customer, I hand it with the logo facing out so that they can see that it's my stuff. And then when they're walking around the show, people can see the RD Ceramics on the bag. It stands out because it's a black stamp on a craft bag. Mm-hmm. So it's easily recognizable. That's what I do at the show. And then from the show, I'll talk about what goes in the package, like when I send stuff out. I have that same stamp on the boxes when I ship stuff out. And then I will normally put in a piece of paper that has a little blurb about, thanks for purchasing from me. Here's how I make my work. I hope you enjoy it. I really appreciate the support for small business and stuff like that. And then I fold that in half. That is a quarter of a page. I print that off at Staples or whatever in color. It has it's both sided. So the one side has that blurb on it on a quarter of the page. And then if you flip it over, you have 2 photos on the right side. So that when you fold it in half, it's got the 2 photos. And then the other side has all of my business card info. So it's got RD Ceramics. It has my name. It has my location, like my area of town where I live, my email, my website, my social media, all that stuff. So that's usually what I put. And if you bought something from me, you've seen that in the mail. That, and then I just put a coupon with it that says save $5 off $30 or more on your purchase in person or online. And that goes with it too. Mm-hmm. So that's all of my branded stuff.
At a show.
Yeah. At a show, and then if I ship stuff. I don't obviously stamp boxes and stuff at shows, but it's the same.
Right.
And my business cards are similar. I have the craft paper business cards. I print those on 11 by 17 at Staples. I chop them with one of those arm chopper paper cutters. And yeah, they're just black. They're just black. Cutter. They're just black and white printed on craft paper, so they're super simple. And I cut them into a square, so they're like 3-inch by 3-inch, and then I use a scrapbook thing to cut the corners. So 2 corners are rounded, and then the 2 corners are square. And so it's a little bit different of a business card, but it's also square, so it's a little different there, but it's also black and white, so it's simple. And I can do them for super cheap because I do it myself. So,
do your business cards fit in wallets?
They do.
Good. Also very important, make sure your business cards fit in a freaking wallet. Because that's like my biggest pet peeve is when you get a business card. But also, we should be just taking pictures of business cards. That's my opinion, personally. But
I feel like you lose it in your camera roll. If you're like me, I have like 12,000 photos on my phone. Like, I will lose that.
That's true. I will lose it, but I'll find it again if I need it. What I do at shows, I do not stamp bags.
You still have to pack up your stuff at your booth, right?
Yeah, I pack up my stuff at my booth. This is kind of one of those do as I say, not as I do moments. I have craft paper bags because as a potter, I believe that you should never use plastic, by the way. it's like one layer of protection to do it in paper, and it doesn't cost that much more, and it looks so much better. I do not stamp them. I used to stamp them, but I sell so many items at a show, like so many small items, that I'm going through like 100 bags in a weekend, and stamping 100 bags is tough.
Damn, that's a lot.
Maybe less.
You say, geez, I'm probably going through like maybe 20. 25.
Oh, I go through way more than 20. Like way.
Depends on what it is, but if it's a farmer's market, I'm probably going to go through like maybe 12 or 15.
Yeah, no, I'm like.
But yeah, depends on what it is.
I usually have to. So the way I do it is I put my bags in a Rubbermaid box, and it's like one of those ones you get at Lowe's, the gnarly ones, and I have 2 rows of bags, and I usually have to fill them up by the end of the weekend.
How many bag sizes do you use?
I only use 1 bag size. No, that's a lie. I use 1 bag size primarily. That's the Cub from Uline.
Yeah.
It's the, I don't know, probably 8.5 by 9, 10? Maybe less, 7 by 10. And then I use the bigger version if need be. I'm also one of those people where if it's like I'll bring an extra box instead of a bag for if I have like big boxes or big bowls and stuff.
Yeah.
But also, the people around me have larger bags too, so I'll be like, "Hey, can I buy a bag from you?" So
the bigger bags that you have are like 2 Cub bags side by side in size?
Yeah, I would say it's the size of like a paper bag from the grocery store, like that size, you know?
Okay.
So I go Cub size and then large, so that if I need to put like 10 mugs or whatever. But I'm totally fine with just doing, like 4 mugs and 2 bags.
I have like 3 sizes.
Yeah, I try to keep it simple.
Maybe
Most
4.
of my stuff is small, you know?
I like the rosé bags or the rose bags.
The rose bags, those are the wine ones, right?
No, it's not that tall. The rose ones are like, if you think of a Cub bag, it's a little bit skinnier than a Cub bag, like sideways. So it fits a mug very well or an oil bottle very well. But I just like it because it's nice and tiny.
Yeah, but it's the same price.
I know, but it fits snug in there. I don't want the mug shaking around in a Cub if it's loose.
Put some paper in there.
I do have paper in there. I just like the smaller bag. It's like nicer because it's like nice and compact.
It just doesn't make any sense to me because it's like it's literally the same price to get the small bag.
But they take up a lot less space in my. They take up a lot less space in my bags. In my bag of bags, it takes up a lot less space.
Side. You can
but if I'm selling 1 mug, I'm wasting space in the bag and I'm wasting paper.
Yeah, but you're not wasting money.
I'm not talking about money here. I'm talking about the presentation of it. If it's 1 mug, it fits nicely in there wrapped up. And it's compact. It's not going to move side to side. And I'm not going to waste paper to fill void.
I'll hit you with this. If you have different size bags and people are walking around the show, and let's say they don't see your stamp that's on one side of your bag, but let's say you have this. Okay, let's say you have different size bags and people are walking around the show, and you have a stamp, and for some reason another person doesn't see the stamp on the other side. Those bags walking around the show are free advertisement, right?
Yeah.
Now, if every single bag you have is the same size and the exact same design, people are going to notice it regardless of looking at the stamp. If you have different size bags, they might not.
Bags. There are a lot of craft bags. Like, if I'm looking at a show, I'm probably seeing the majority of people carrying around bags are going to be craft bags.
Do they stamp them or
more
do they
so
not?
Than white bags?
Do they stamp them?
No.
You're the only one that stamps them. There you go.
I know, but I'm saying it doesn't bend. Like, I feel like it's more compact and nicer for me because fine. I can put a lot of them in my bag that holds a lot of bags. My bag that holds all of my gift bags. I can fit more of those than fitting the Cubs because I can put them like side by side and I can fit a lot more in there.
Yeah, I guess that I like to stick with the same bag because there's no question of if anything will fit. It's like always going to be the same regardless. And I also don't have to question how many bags of which size I need. It's like, okay, I pack 150 bags into this tote. They're all the same size. Yes. Doesn't matter how small of an item or how big of an item. It's probably going to fit in that bag. Mm-hmm. Other than the huge ones, That's an exception. But also, I feel like I need to take a pause and say, if you're listening to this and you have not seen Tim C's video that he just put out on Instagram, and right now it'll probably be 2 weeks ago from today. I think it was on his regular page on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Tim C. Clay.
Okay. Tim C. Clay, Timsee Clay. He did a little snippet on how he does be-back coins, and you should go watch it because it's important. He also talks about how he puts stuff in a bag, not necessarily his items. Kind of, we're talking about the same issue. He put like water bottles and a pamphlet and stuff like that in a bag that has branding on it. And so people were walking around the store and everybody's like, what do you have in that bag? Like, I've seen so many of your bags out. And he was like, he didn't tell him that there was literally none of his product in that bag, but people thought that people were buying from him in drones because they were carrying around water bottles in a paper bag.
That's also
like
a huge
bag.
undertaking if you want to dedicate that. Like, you probably have to have like 50 of these things packed up and ready to go.
Totally, but I did like the idea of that.
It is a good idea.
The whole concept was great. Okay, so what else do I put in a bag? So I use Cub bags. Now we're past that debacle. And all I do in my bags, like I said, I sell a lot of items, not small, high-priced items. So my business card is a round sticker. If you've ever gotten anything from me in the mail or you've bought anything from me, if it's a 2-inch sticker, circular sticker, and it fits in the bottom of every item that I make. And I put my sticker that has my name, my email, my Instagram, and that the items are dishwasher and microwave safe in the bottom of that mug. And then I wrap it up in paper and put it in the bag, and that's it. I keep it super simple. I condense my business card and the sticker and then the dishwasher microwave safe tag all in one, and that way also it can be used later, and people put them on their water bottles or what have you. It's got my face on it, so they cannot forget it. Mm-hmm. It is gold, and it is outlandish, and I've had people text me and be like, I opened up this and smiled so big because I was laughing because your face is in my face. So that's my business card. Similar to our logo for
Wheel Talk.
Wheel Talk. So it's actually the same face as the logo in Wheel Talk. I just took it out because I was the one that edited it. Took it out and then applied it to my own sticker. I need to change my hair to pink, but
I do sometimes put those Wheel Talk stickers in my orders too, depending on who it is. I do ship it out in every online order. I ship it out with my stuff. So people are getting Wheel Talk stickers out there.
Yeah, I ship them out with my online orders too. I also have been doing a new thing for online orders because I felt like I needed to put a thank you card in my boxes because the sticker is kind of small. It's like, when you're in person, you can thank them. You can thank them personally, but when you're not in person, you can't. Let me see if I can find it, and I will read
while
it
while you're finding it, I do put a thank you card in all of my online orders, so I'll handwrite on like a quarter of a page or a sixth of a page. I think I cut it into sixes. I'll stamp the front and then I'll flip it over and I'll write something on the back.
I refuse to
thank you card.
Yep.
So Becca made one. It's on what size? Is it?
It is on, I can't find it, but I'll tell you what it says. It is on a 4x6 note card, and I got neon note cards from Walmart. The green, yellow, pink, and blue
orange
ones,
or something, yeah.
Orange or whatever. And I print them on my laser printer because it can print 4x6s, and it says, I scribbled it out on my iPad really quickly one night, and it says, I feel like I should write a handwritten thank you card. Well, that was a fun idea. Thanks for buying my shit. And then shit's crossed out, and it says stuff. And then it says, I really appreciate it, or something like that. And then it says, K, love you, bye. and then I fold it up and put it in the box. And it's like the most half-assed attempt. But that's my brand. That's literally my brand. You have to know what your brand is, and my brand is making ridiculous, stupid. It's like Tim Kowalczyk.
Yep.
Did I do that right?
I think you got it right. So impressed.
Tim Kowalczyk, his brand is like garbage. Like, that's his brand. And he had his kids like write and draw his stickers. Like, it's freaking genius. You know, you have to figure out what your brand is. Is your brand like super modern, super clean, super fresh? Like, are they unwrapping the package, or is it an experience? Or is it something where they open up the package, they see this note, and then they laugh because it's so kindergarten, you know? Like, is that your brand, or is your brand super fancy? Or is your brand super, like, Ryan's, where it's, like, super intentional and heartfelt, and, like, he put a lot of effort into it, you know? And you get money also, too, because like, you have to decide what your brand is. And it's kind of the same thing as we were talking. I don't know if we were talking about this, but it's like you have to decide what kind of craft you want to put into your product. Like, do you want to trim everything, or do you want to go the route of like, hey, I know how to do this, but I kind of want my cups to look kind of not finished on the bottom. But that's your brand. Like, you're intentionally doing it like that, you know? If it has, I guess my point, like, my thing is, if it has an intention behind it, it's fine. If
there was some thought to why you decided to make that choice.
If somebody asks you, why did you do this, and you have an answer for them, it's fine. But if you just said,
I don't really know.
That's not okay. It's not okay.
Yeah.
You gotta have an intention behind it. You can have the shittiest looking pieces that sell for the most amount of money in the whole world, and if you have a reason behind it, then good for you.
Right.
But don't think that they're great and have them actually not be great. And then, okay, I'm getting off my box.
We're 46 minutes in.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Should we just answer another listener question and call it a day? Oh my gosh.
I'm going to blame the wine.
That's not even wine. That's like a alcoholic pop.
It's 3.8% alcoholic Otter Pops. I think it's like drinking one of those shitty cans of wine, you know?
Can of wine? I've not had a can of wine.
Like the skinny ones. Like a Truly.
Oh.
It's like drinking a Truly. That's not wine. It's like hard seltzer. I feel like branding is such an... Like, we basically have done the entire episode on branding. It's so freaking important.
Yeah, I mean, we're also kind of on the side for the podcast, we're kind of coming up with... We have, like, a note together that we share that says, like, branding ideas of things that we are...
Yeah.
Like, that we feel like would draw people back to Wheel Talk. Like, if you said, you know, don't be like Becca... That could be part of the Wheel Talk branding that would relate, and people would understand, like, oh, yeah, like, don't be like Becca. She says it all the time. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, there was a reason that we, you know, like, have the logo that we have. And the, like, I had one of my friends do a caricature of both of us. Because I knew that they would bring out our personalities, you know, when... Pretty Little Outliers, by the way, if you want an awesome caricature done. They do online caricatures. Pretty Little Outliers. Outlaws, sorry. Pretty Little Outlaws. But, yeah, I mean, like, then we thought about it, like, the background is pink. And why is the background pink? Because females generally, and don't be getting on me about female versus male. This is proven science. Females generally attract to the color pink. It is an attractive color, and it is subconsciously noticed. It's a color that is noticed. Whether you like it or not, it is noticed. So that's why it's pink.
I think we were coming up with some color options of like logos
we were
and
gonna do, like,
text with
yellow.
it and like what looked good with our characters.
Yeah.
And I think
We did talk about that too because that's something that I've always known.
Yeah. So yeah, we might bring some branding into Wheel Talk down the road where we like have some products or something or like
we will.
Yeah. So that if we didn't have that and we didn't have sayings that we say like don't be like Becca, like if that's on a mug, people will be like, yeah, that's funny as hell. Or
right.
Like if someone sees this, tell Becca's mom she has a podcast. Like people would freaking love that.
Or, hello, Ryan. How was your day? Yeah. For sure. I think that, yeah, it'll be fun once we get to that, like, point. It is harder because we both have jobs, so doing this as a side gig and then trying to find all the branding. But there will be t-shirts coming out soon, for sure.
Ew. I don't think I knew this, but I kind of knew this was on the back burner.
Well, what did you get for your anniversary gift from me, Mr. Ryan?
I did. Let me grab it. It's right over here.
P.S. You guys won't know this, but while he's getting his t-shirt, we started the podcast on August 22nd, 2019. So it has been a year.
Minus 3 days. It'll be a year
for us,
by the time y'all hear this.
But not for you guys when you hear it. Yeah, it'll be a year.
All right. So first, I got a face mask.
Yeah, I sent him a face mask that literally blocks all of the air going into it.
I cannot breathe out of this thing.
I put it on and I was like, "Oh, this is not safe."
So it has Becca's face on the right of the character.
Yeah.
And then it has the best review we've ever received.
Yes.
No. It says good resource for potters. Y'all already know this. From JW17, 4 stars. I really like this podcast and the subjects talked about. However, I question advice given by Becca often, and her manners need a little refined.
I also made a sweatshirt of it. And seriously, J-Dubs, I just want you to know that it literally brightened my day when you sent me that. It was a well-written review, and I do not take it. I'm not mad at you.
We still got 4 stars. You're a 4-star lady.
Yeah, I'm genuinely so happy because you brought me out of a really dark time, and we were able to laugh about it, and it was fantastic.
And then I also got a t-shirt.
I made Ryan a t-shirt.
That is, what color would you say this is? I don't know.
It's like a baby pink because I was just trying to find a shirt that fit you.
Yes.
I asked your mom what size you were.
Oh, nice. You got it right.
Yeah.
100% cotton. Okay. Yeah, so it's got the Wheel Talk logo. I guess that's from our sticker, right? It's basically our sticker on here.
Yeah, it's the sticker, yeah.
Yeah, so it's got our sticker with in color with Wheel Talk with Ryan and Becca at Wheel Talk Podcast. And then the back has our notes on here, which was, I guess, from where we were. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the notes, I don't know if you all know this or if you haven't gathered this, but Ryan is a very note type person, and he is always prepared. And so when we started to do the podcast, we have a note that is so long, but I was like, Ryan, we were trying to figure out the name for the podcast, and I was like, Ryan, just put down every single idea that you think of. And so we shared this note, and we would put down all of our ideas for the names of the podcast, and then and then he continued on that note and like did a box and then our 2 faces in the box in like kindergarten drawing status. And
I don't have a fancy iPad. I drew this on my phone with my finger.
With this, that's okay. If I did it on a fancy iPad, it'd probably look the exact same way. So and then he also put in like what technology we needed to use and all these things. So like I feel like the relationship to me and Ryan's podcast has always been that he's the note taker. And so I put every single note from that original note on the back of the t-shirt.
Should we read some of these podcast name ideas?
I think you definitely should.
Okay. People, reach out and let us know like which one you'd rather have. I feel like there's nothing else I could see besides Wheel Talk. Like
I'll tell you my vote for at the very end when we're done.
Should I read all of them?
I think I've said it. No, just read
No.
them. Read a few of them.
All right. Potter's Life, the craft table. I like that one, the craft table. Craft sessions, maker confessions, craft fashions. Get thrown, get spun. Spinning thoughts. The maker's turn. Maker's chatter. Wheel chatter. Wheel chats.
You wanted wheel chatter.
Wheel chatter, yeah. Chatterheads. Wheelside
chatter. Is the
chatter.
pot life in there? I feel like the pot life would have been one that I would have chosen.
I don't see it on here. I see pot life.
Pot life, yeah.
Maker's cast. Wheelside chats. Let's get wheel.
Let's get wheel. That was a.
I actually like that one.
Yeah, that was high in the ranks for sure.
Getting wheel with Ryan and Becca. That would have been long. That wouldn't have been good for branding. That would have been really long.
Yeah.
Wheel banter. I think wheel banter was up there.
It was for you.
The wheel life and wheel talk.
The wheel and wheel talk podcast. I still think, and I am still a little bit frustrated every time I type in Wheel Talk Podcast in our email when we have to sign into Buzzsprout. I still really want it to be Wheel Talk Podcast instead of podcast.
Wheel Talk
I want it
Podcast.
To be podcast. Because it's a pottery cast.
Yes. But also, I feel like it's when people say, "Oh, check out my podcast. It's called Wheel Talk Podcast." We know it's a podcast. You just told us it was a podcast. Right. So Wheel Talk Podcast might have been, I don't know. It may be confusing.
No, really, I just wanted that to be in the email. That's it. That's all I wanted it to be was the email.
Oh, okay.
Podcast.
Okay.
That's it.
So yeah,
I wish we could show you the picture that Ryan drew. That's adorable. And then in the note, I wrote
I can photograph this.
We should. In the note, I wrote in, I really think these guys look like us.
You said these really are the best part of the note. Really, I think they look like us. Oh my gosh.
Because I just speckle the notes with like funny comments because I can't take most of them seriously.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I feel like the technical thing, she was like, "This is all you. I don't understand any of this shit," or something like that.
Yeah, I did that. I did say
yeah, that's what it says. That's all you. I don't understand any of that shit. Oh gosh. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'll have to wear
t-shirts.
this. I'll photograph this.
That was a bitch to print too. I missed a few letters. I don't know if I actually filled in the letters that I needed to fill in. We were going to fill it in with Sharpie.
It's good. All right. Is there anything else? We're at 57 minutes. I don't know.
I know. I feel like this podcast really got away from us.
Oh gosh.
We're gonna have pins soon. Oh, can we just put a request out? Like, we're gonna try and get pins, but like enamel pins. But also, could you guys leave us some reviews, even if they're bad? I really don't care.
We all know how much Becca loves them. Like, make us laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, we need some t-shirt materials. So, no, I'm serious. Don't give us bad reviews. I mean, you can. Yeah, if you could leave us like actual written reviews on our podcast, that'd be great. As we are trying to kind of expand a little bit, it'd be awesome. So.
Yes, and we may have an incentive out there to.
Yeah.
Get more reviews.
We just have to send in the design.
Yeah.
So, that's on me.
All right. Anything else?
Do you have any, let's see, by the time this is going, do you have any online stuff going up?
I'll probably be posting something this week, which is late August. 24th, maybe? I don't know. Okay. So, yeah, there's always stuff on my online shop, so there's always stuff to see there.
I took all my stuff off of online because of all the TikTok people.
What do you mean? You specifically didn't want them to be able to buy anything because you said you didn't have anything?
Yes. No, it's just that, like, well,
What?
Actually,
You
also
don't want to sell stuff?
No, I do, but I just don't want it on their terms. I want it on my terms.
Oh my
The
God.
stuff that was on my website, I just didn't feel... I should have taken it off way sooner anyway.
As in, like, you weren't proud of those pieces as much because they were still left?
Yeah, they were like hand-built ones, and I'd rather sell them in person. So, but I'll have, when this comes out, I probably should have a tumbler sale. And I went a little nutso and made 150 tumblers because time got away from me. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I may be doing a takeover on Speedball soon.
Hey!
And there may be a giveaway over there of one of my brand new carved cups with underglaze.
Look at
carved
his
mugs.
Smile. He's got a smile.
It was one of those things where, like, I don't know about you, but I get emails for something where I'm like, okay, I need to put focus into this. Like, it's not a quick 5-minute reply. It's like I've got to do homework to get this thing prepped so that I can reply with a full-on response that they're expecting. And I'll just leave that thing unread for weeks, and then I'm like, shit, I got to do this. So I
don't know what kind of emails you get, but I get emails, and I'm like, is this a scam? Like,
well, no, this was like the Speedball. It's like, hey, we got this new Instagram. We're looking to do some takeovers for people that use our products and that kind of thing. So it was like, and we want you to be part of our professional artists network, which is like their featured people in their ceramics category and stuff that use our products. So I like had some homework to do so that I could prep and give them like all my artist info, my bio, my artist statement, what products I use, why I like them. Like, it was homework for me.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Sure.
When somebody asks you what underglaze is, what is your first response? How do you respond to that? Because
what are underglazes?
Like, what's underglaze? Yeah, like if somebody like didn't know, you say, what is underglaze?
I basically just say it's a pigmented slip, which a slip is just a liquid form of clay. That's the simplest answer I would probably say.
I used to like try to think of all these funny things, like not funny, but like, you know, I try to explain it to people, and then finally one day I was like, it goes under glaze.
Do they know what glaze is? Are these like non-pottery people?
Yeah, like these are my students. Like they're like, well, what's underglaze? I'm like, it literally is under
the glaze. Yeah.
It's underglaze. And I feel like I have yet to find somebody who, when somebody asks what's underglaze, I have yet to find somebody that says it goes under glaze.
I feel like that's kind of a smart ass answer to say.
No, it's not. It literally does go under glaze.
I know, but that doesn't explain it enough. I think they're asking like, what is it? Like, what makes it?
No, I get it. I mean, like it's like to us, to potters, it's such a complex product. Like there's so many things that can be done with underglaze. Like I understand, but at the base, like it's interesting that literally underglaze is named for what it actually does. It goes underglaze.
Right.
Which I find hilarious.
And there doesn't even have to be a glaze that it goes under. It doesn't have to go under anything.
That is correct. That is correct.
So yeah, there may be a giveaway here shortly with that stuff.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. Have you done a giveaway recently? Or delivered your giveaway promises recently?
I forgot. But then I remembered yesterday I emailed. So the last giveaway I did was a Givings Way. So
right. Yeah,
I'm sorry. That. I'm like not doing well with my ADD today. So if you hear things crashing, that's because I've been spinning around a mascara tube for 25 minutes. So my Givings Way, people nominated other people, and I chose somebody, and I chose somebody just yesterday because I had forgotten about it, but not really. Like, I just wanted to make sure that it went to somebody who really deserved it. I was gonna do it randomly, but I didn't.
They picked somebody that they think should receive.
Yeah,
the
And
giveaway.
I don't know the person that I'm sending it to. Like, I don't know them, but I emailed the person that nominated, and she was like, yeah, I have her address, and she sent it to me, so I'm going to send her probably one of the new, probably a wine glass, maybe a bell, and a wine glass. But I don't feel like I need to say it publicly. I mean, I'm saying it here, but I don't feel like I need to, like, be like, this person won this, because I want it to be a surprise, you know, when they get it.
Yeah.
So.
Are you going to include... Did they also explain why they should win it?
Yeah, and they were tagged, so they know that they were tagged in it.
You should put in text either a screenshot of what they said so they can, like, get that little, like, warm, fuzzy feeling when they see what they said about them. Like, why they should get it.
Like, they know what they said about them.
I know, but are they going to remember by the time they get it 5 weeks after?
Oh, yeah. Maybe I should do a little plaque. Oh, that would be fun. Like, do a little plaque of clay and then do a decal on it.
Oh, that would be memorable.
Yeah.
That'll
See, like,
your
there's
day.
not really a timeline because everybody's forgotten about it anyway, so...
Yeah. I'm telling you, they're going to forget what they said about them. They're just going to be like, oh, I won something.
Totally. And what she said about her was super, super sweet, so maybe I will do that. That's a good idea. Or I could do a mug with the decal of that on it.
You could.
Maybe I'll do that. I like that idea. Wow. Yeah. I'm so glad we did this podcast. The podcast. Thank you for enjoying this ride with us.
Yeah.
We know that
I don't know how the hell we got here, but we did somehow.
You know what? Sometimes you just need podcasts like this.
Well, the thing is, we were talking right before this, and we were like, "What are we talking about?"
Yeah.
Let's try this idea. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, maybe we'll just record and see where it goes. I don't know.
Yeah. Which is not Ryan's favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I'm like, Becca, do you know what you signed up for here? Like, we just answered your question. We're 20 minutes in. Like, where the hell are we going?
No, I feel like we talked about social media and branding, which are actually very important things and also coinciding.
Yes.
So, yeah. Go team. Okay, let's end it off with somebody who's done really good branding that you feel like, not yourself, but like somebody who it stands out to you as anybody, not like an artist. It doesn't have to be clay, but just like an artist. Just top of your head.
You have somebody in mind, I'm sure.
I do.
Say it.
Oh, Rebecca Graves. I think her branding's fantastic.
Shit.
And it's improving with the photography and everything. And also Pitch Pine. Pitch Pine's
That's
branding
what I was
is
gonna.
on
Okay.
point too.
I was gonna say Pitch Pine, but you stole it. Sorry.
Okay,
Pitch
well
Pine.
then I don't want to take yours. So I'd say Rebecca
Pitch Pine
Graves.
Pottery.
Yeah, Rebecca Graves on the more like fits in your everyday life. Pitch Pine's a very artistic approach, which I love as well.
Yeah,
because Rebecca Graves is more production, and Pitch Pine is actually more like.
Yeah, I think Pitch Pine is very like moody, not like moody like negative. Like you get a mood from it. It's got
seductive.
It's got this vibe. Maybe vibe is the better word.
It's got a vibe. I agree. I love the pictures that Matt takes. They're great.
Plus, I think it's cool how when you talk to somebody, you can also kind of get that vibe that their personality fits their what they're putting out. Yeah. You know.
I also like Howl and Hide. They are a leather company in Indianapolis, and it's very like punk rock, and I appreciate that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. On that note. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
Leave us a review if you can. Bye. All right. See ya. Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate it, and we're having so much fun. If you want to follow us individually on Instagram, you totally can. Ryan's Instagram handle is at RD Ceramics, and mine is 5 Lines Pottery. That's the number 5. We would love to hear from you, and don't forget to write us a review on our podcast. We read every single one of them, and we totally appreciate them. They help us out an awful lot, and they also put smiles on our faces. I hope you guys continue to listen, and we love you. Thanks. Bye.